What's going on, weirdos? It's your man Shane Kid Walker welcoming you all to Season 3 of HollyWeird TV. Here on this channel, honesty reigns supreme. Season 2 did in fact end abruptly after some creative difficulties transpired. So on behalf of HollyWeird TV and the good folks at Fantastic Productions, we would like to extend our apologies for the inconvenience. Whew, glad we got that out of the way. This season of HollyWeird TV, we're going to look at the 100 greatest films of all time. This is going to be different from the previous 2 seasons. These installments will consist of 10 episodes with 10 entries apiece. There will be no getting personal with SKW episodes this season. Sorry guys. This whole season will be a love letter to cinema's all-time greats. This idea came about when we were reading the AFI 100 greatest films of all time, and we noticed a huge lack in diversity. Shake my head. So we took it upon ourselves and asked the inhabitants of Instagram, what did they think? Today, we honor the wishes of those on Instagram by starting off the list, going from 100 to 91. So with that being said, here's a spoiler alert in case you haven't seen any of these movies. As always, here at HollyWeird TV, we place timestamps in the description below so that you, the viewer, can skip ahead and control the video as you see fit. Without further ado, let's begin Season 3. Number 100, Spider-Man 2. This superhero flick barely made it onto our list of all-time greats, but did indeed earn a spot. While it's in no way like its predecessor, it did serve as a great follow-up to the 2002 version. More on that later. The film stars Tobey Maguire alongside Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, and Efren Molina. The film follows the hardship of Peter Parker as he struggles to balance life as a civilian and as a superhero. On the flip side, viewers get to see the downfall of Otto Octavius after he botches an experiment that included his robotic arms. Desperate, he begins to commit crimes throughout New York City, which leads him to Harry Osborn in search of the rare isotope tritanium to refuel his reactor. The film currently holds an approval rating of 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. At the same time, the film was nominated for 3 Academy Awards in 2005, winning 1 for Best Visual Effects. Number 99, Dragon Ball Super Broly. The best and most financially successful film in the entire history of Dragon Ball. This film follows the origin story of Kakarot, or Goku, Prince Vegeta, and the legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Leadership of Planet Vegeta is given to Frieza by his father King Cole. The dilemma takes place when King Vegeta realizes there is another Saiyan stronger than his son. As a result, the Saiyan King banished the Saiyan and his father to a distant planet. Those Saiyans proved to be Paragus and his son Broly. Bitter about the banishment, Paragus vowed to have Broly return and defeat those who banished him. Years later, Frieza destroys Planet Vegeta. After an additional 40 years, it is revealed that the Dragon Balls have been stolen from Frieza's warship. Long story short, Frieza kills Paragus, Broly goes legendary, Goku and Vegeta fuse, Goji defeats Broly. As of 2019, the film holds a series record of 82% on Rotten Tomatoes and has grossed over $124 million. It was also nominated for both the Japanese Academy Prize as well as a Google Play User's Choice Award. Number 98, Rocky IV. What happens when the real-life Cold War takes place right before our very eyes? You get the film that is known as Rocky IV. After the senseless murder of his rival turned friend, Rocky seeks to avenge the death of Apollo Creed. Ivan Drago nonchalantly claims victory and arrogantly claims that he beat a great champion. If he dies, he dies. Rocky heads to Russia and after at least 3 training montages, goes the distance with Drago, knocking out the Russian brute to win the match. As of 2020, Rocky IV holds only a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. As a result, it is one of the critically panned films to make this list among the greats. Despite the critical reception, it would become the highest grossing sports film of all time, making $300 million worldwide. That record would be shattered in 2009 following the release of The Blind Side. Number 97, I Can Do Bad by Myself. Okay, I'm gonna toss him a bone in this one. Just know most of Tyler Perry's film will eventually make my 100 worst films list of all time in the future. But for now, let's pay tribute to arguably his most acclaimed film to date. In a rare fit of creative genius, Tyler Perry knocks it out the park with this 2009 film. Starring Taraji P. Henson, Mary J. Blige, and Gladys Knight. It depicts how one could come to a crossroads in life and need a spark in order to get things together. In this case, It's the love of children that serves as the catalyst for a woman who's searching for purpose to finally get her life together. As of 2020, the film holds an approval rating of 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. Although it isn't Perry's highest grossing film, it did do well in the box office. It earned around $52 million against a $19 million budget. Number 96, Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, weirdos, I'm gonna be honest here. I cannot believe this film is this slow on the countdown. Jesus. This is the definition of an all-time classic. You take a married couple who have been at odds, add 3 kids and a divorce. Then you add a man desperate to spend time with those kids. You should yield Mrs. Doubtfire. The film stars Sally Field, Pierce Brosnan, and the legendary and the late great Robin Williams. Although it received mixed reviews from critics, it still managed to put in a boatload of accolades following its release. It was nominated for an Academy for Best Makeup as well as won 2 Golden Globes. Robin Williams won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Comedy or a Musical. Lastly, it placed number 67 on the American Film Institute's 100 Years and 100 Laughs. Number 95, Dope. This 2015 film became a classic at the time of its release. In what has been identified as a continuation of the 1999 film The Wood, more on that later. It follows the trials and tribulations of Malcolm Adequami and his friends Jib and Diggy. After a fateful night at a friend's birthday party, Malcolm's seemingly innocent life, although it was a bit tumultuous at school, takes a bit of a dark turn. Having acquired drugs, he was forced into selling it. However, he proved to be successful. Focusing on selling through the black market, he found a way to make a profit off Bitcoin. The film stars what is now considered to be an all-star cast: Shameik Moore, Kimberly Elise, Kiersey Clemson, Zoe Kravitz, Chanel Iman, A$AP Rocky, and Tony Revolori. As of 2020, Dope holds an 89% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. One of the themes from the film is that life involuntarily could take a different path. That one has to be ready for the unknown, or, at the very least, be able to think critically in a time of desperation. Number 94, Bring It On. A cult classic in every sense of the word. Bring It On is one of those films that more than stood the test of time. It also transcended the past 2 generations. The film follows Torrance, who's the captain of a cheerleading squad, the Rancho Carn Toros. It's time for the school to compete for the national championship, as the 5-time defending champions, no less. However, Torrance has some huge shoes to fill in the wake of former captain Big Red. While practicing a routine, Missy accuses the team of stealing. Turns out, the former Toros captain Big Red was secretly filming East Compton's routine and passing it off to the Toros as original. After this is discovered by Isis, East Compton's captain, she vows to make it to national and defeat the Toros. The film stars Kirsten Dunst and Gabrielle Union in the latter's breakout performance. As of 2019, Bring It On holds an approval rating of 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. The film also ranks at number 30 on Entertainment Weekly's list of the 50 best high school movies of all time. Number 93, Friday. Where to begin with this one? One of the most quotable movies in history. Friday is without a doubt one of the most iconic films of the 90s, let alone the 20th century. The film follows the activities of Craig and his friend Smokey. Smokey is a habitual marijuana user, which eventually lands him in the crosshairs of drug dealer Big Worm. Smokey convinces Craig, who never smoked weed a day in his life, to partake in smoking. This will prove to be costly as Craig is now on Worm's shit list with Smokey. At the same time, a neighborhood bully is terrorizing those who live there. Man, some guy named Debo hit Craig and Smokey's friend Red with a brutal uppercut, blackening his eye when he was trying to get his bike back, which led to the classic line, "You got knocked the fuck out!" I always wanted to do that. The success of Friday spawned 2 sequels, Next Friday and Friday After Next, with the 4th installment long rumored for production. Unfortunately, it may never happen. In 2019, John Witherspoon, who played Craig's father, passed away at the age of 77. Only 14 months later, Tiny Debo Lister passed away from what is believed to be COVID-related symptoms at only 62 years old. Bernie Mac, who played the sleazy pastor, passed away in 2008 at the age of 50. As of 2020, Friday holds a 78% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 92, Freedom Writers. What happens when a teacher is inspired by the events of the 1992 LA riots? You get Erin Gruwell, a young ambitious upstart who gave up her dreams to become a lawyer and settled into the role of an educator. This film, hands down, is one of my personal favorites. It shows a young woman who isn't even familiar with Snoop Dogg, taking the lives of her students in the palm of her hands and molding it for the better. Being dealt a hand that most teachers would do their best to avoid, yeah, I said it. Gruwell made the most of her situation, teaching a rebellious group that included gang members, the disinterested, and even going against the staff. Gruwell did what she could to bring light to a situation covered in darkness. Realizing her kids never learned about the Holocaust, she decided to go that route with her lesson plan, and it proved to be successful. While it was slow, the kids eventually caught on and learned a new perspective. A perspective that the world is not only against them, so to speak, but it's against everyone. The film stars Hilary Swank, Patrick Dempsey, and Mario. As of 2020, the film holds a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Before we continue, we would like to pause and recognize some well-deserving honorable mentions. Number 91, The Wood. We wrap up the season 3 premiere with one of the most underrated films of all time. The Wood centers around 3 friends who navigate their teenage years trying to figure out what the next phase of life is all about. Oh yeah, and they want to get booty too. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, the film stars Sean Nelson, Omar Epps, Richard T. Jones, Dwayne Finley, Taye Diggs, Trent Cameron, Melinda Williams, and Sanaa Lathan. Taking place in mostly flashback, Mike relocates from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, sorry y'all, to Inglewood or The Wood. His first day is the toughest. He sees a beautiful girl, grabs her butt, she tells her brother, he gets his ass kicked. Despite getting beaten and humiliated, he instantly earns the respect of his peers and is already on the fast track to popularity. This film covers many different themes. After all, it is a coming-of-age film. From high school crushes to peer pressure, as well as tackling adulthood, The Wood served more than one purpose. DeAndre Bonds, who plays the role of Stacy, reprises his role in Dope during a confrontation with one of the school bullies. As of 2020, The Wood has an approval rating of 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you all agree? Well, y'all should, because you did vote on these films on Instagram. Just saying. Anyway, if so or if not, please tell us about it in the comment section below. Yeah, we read those things and we may use a screenshot of your opinion in the next video. This concludes the season 3 premiere of HollyWeird TV. Next week, we're going to be looking at numbers 90 to 81 in this elite countdown of what fans consider to be the greatest films of all time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring that goddamn bell to get all of our notifications. Until next Sunday, remember, Hollywood is a weird place. I'm your man Shane Kid Walker, and this is HollyWeird TV.